Hello, class and professor. This is the Venn diagram that Professor Reynolds has gone over with us, and I will be discussing it in details with all of us. So we first start off with the U.S. population of all ages, because so we'll be discussing about the population in the U.S. And then in the bigger Venn diagram here, we're talking about only the 50 years and older uh, and plus adults. And down here on the bottom, it's about gerontology, which is the non clinical side of aging. So, gerontology, from my understanding, it's uh, professionals that worry or that worries and stresses about the health and well-being of all adults. Um, and as you can see here, there's two arrows, one going out, one coming in. The one coming in, you enter at age 50, so that's why the Venn diagram is for 50 plus. And then when you go out, it's the end of life, so end of your physical life on Earth. And next, we go to our four corners. So let's start off with this one here. So it's called a unique subgroup because we all age. So this one is particularly because it doesn't matter what group you are in growing up or even now, because everyone ages. And so we all go into the Venn diagram of 50 plus. The next one is our dynamic subgroup based on age. And for this one, it's because the ages are constantly changing, or the cohorts are constantly changing. So we're all changing and going to this Venn diagram right here. The next one is percentage of population over 50 is increasing. And why? It's because of life expectancy has increased. And all of these listed below here are all reasons to why how life expectancy has increased. So, such as immunizations for reducing childhood death. So medications, treatments to prevent illnesses and sicknesses. The third one here is medical treatments. Um, so, like I said, medical treatments to help with to preventing any illnesses and stuff. And nutrition, because now in our century, people are more educated on nutrition or and intaking the proper nutrition. And not only that, we have more access and yeah, just more access to good nutrition. Whereas back in the old days, they didn't really have any good food to eat, or couldn't afford food, or were not educated enough about proper nutrition. And then this one, birth rate, is because birth rates have gone down a lot, and so the birth control and birth rate, I feel like they go hand in hand, because of birth control available to women, and then they are less likely to be pregnant and give birth, and so that means that the women are less likely to, like die during labor or whatever, and so that means that women in general, their life expectancy has gone up too. So down here, this one is the major cohort differences. This one, like Professor has mentioned, cohort is like a group of the same people in a around the similar age group, and or you can say the same decade of birth. Um, so we can think of it as think in terms of like when you were born and versus someone who was born in probably in the late 1800s. They didn't have any you know what is it, advantages like what you have now, right? They didn't have any social technologies or anything, whereas now we have all the technologies in the world. Okay, and then now we'll go move into inside the Venn diagram. We'll start off with the blue, as you can see, the blue writings. So start off on this one, research, policy, and administration. So for these three, it matters to gerontology a lot because they always worry about, like what kind of research and the policy administration that will affect the 50 and older adults. Next, we have the social and wellness programs, which benefit these 50 and older adults. And so we have the gerontology side, they will have to worry about these programs so to make sure that they are available and they can provide and give good service for these adults. This one, the manufacturing, sales, and service, these two are they sell in products for adults, and so they give like products for 50 years and older. And then for this one, it's for profit and non-profit. So for profit is like businesses, and then non-profit agencies or organizations are for adults. And so then they are all for providing services and benefits for these adults. And then as you can see here, down here, they vary from entry level all the way to executive. Now let's move into the smaller Venn diagram here. So this will be the geriatric side of aging and its clinical side versus the non-clinical side. And so in here we have, so of course clinical, so we have doctors, nurses, CNAs, therapists, and mental health. So all of these services or all of these professionals and health professionals are here to help provide for these aging adults, 50 years and older. And so let's go and talk about the green writings now. And as you can see, there's some stick figures as well. So let's start with this one. It's this little green stick figure is just checkups. So these are for the relatively well-being adults that go in and out of clinical side to non-clinical just for checkups because they are relatively physically and mentally well. On this side, the chronic illnesses. So there's some adults that will be diagnosed later in life with maybe chronic illnesses, and they will go in and out of clinical side. And then terminal illness. They will definitely just be end of the clinical side. Stay very close to their healthcare providers to help them with their terminal illness. And then cognitive decline. This is when maybe an older adult, reaches the age where they start experiencing or having Alzheimer's, diagnosed for Alzheimer's or something like that, then they will have to be in residential home, which the clinical side will also provide residential services for these adults. And then also injury, like for example, if the adult like injure their hips or shoulders, that which is very common for 50 years and older, they will go in to see doctors, and then they will, when they're all healed up, then they will come back out. And so all of these services, the blue and blue writings, they all contribute to also clinical side too, because they all need to work hand in hand with clinical to help with these adults that are going in and out of clinical and coming back out. And so there we go, our Venn diagram of our 50 plus adults. And that's it.